speaking of line breaking and stuff, just quickly, Brazil versus Bolivia. I finally got around to watching that yesterday. The game was on Friday, I believe, so it took me some time to get around to it. Again, there's so many games that, like, by the time you have time to catch up on things that you didn't get a chance to watch live, you kind of pick and choose. I chose Brazil versus Bolivia because we had Casemiro and Rodrigo. Casemiro started and Rodrigo came off the bench. And this was not even close. It was 5-0. It could have been any amount of goals past 5. It could have been 9 or something. It was just Bolivia were not good defensively, and Brazil were just pretty incredible. With the caveat also that Bolivia are just so bad defensively that, I'm not going to run away with analysis here, but I'm just going to say a couple things. Casemiro's role was largely chill. He was the anchor alongside Coutinho on one side, Douglas Luiz on the other side. He wasn't really pressured. He was pressured like once in the second half and he lost the ball. But generally speaking, he could coast through it without the ball, and everyone else did their thing in attack. He just dropped back. Much more rigid, deeper position than we normally see with Real Madrid. He's much more fluid with Real Madrid. It's more interchangeable, but he basically just stationed himself between the center backs and the midfield, and attack did their thing. Neymar was so unbelievable in this game. I just need to throw one stat at you that just blew my mind. And it's funny because when I watched him play, he was so good that I actually wasn't surprised when I saw the stat. But let me just before the stat, just talk about his performance. I think there are few things, if any, right now in current world football more fun than watching him when he has the ball at his feet, because he's so relentless in his standard of always trying to break lines no matter what position he's in. So even if he's in a deep position, he could have a wall in front of him and like 8 passing outlets side to side to choose from. He'll just use every single player on the field as a decoy, basically, to try to make something happen, to try to get the defense budge. And he's so good at it that no one can really quite predict what way he's going to go. He'll make you think he's going one way, then go the other way. There was this moment in the second half where it's a counterattack, and he pretends to slow the play down, where he actually tells his team, like, we're going to slow it down. He motions with his hands. He pulls the ball back. And so the defenders in front of him think that that's actually what's going to happen. So they let their guard down. And then he just blitzes everybody. And he just goes through 3 players. He had another moment in the box where he dummies one person, roulettes past the other. Rodrigo gets the ball in the box. And he should have shot it one time. I think if he did, he would have scored. But he took an extra touch and he couldn't get a shot off. He also had 2 assists. He did whatever he wanted. So this was a Neymar performance. He attempted 23 dribbles and successfully completed 18.
Yeah, I saw that and I couldn't believe it. And I kind of heard like the hype around his performance, but I haven't seen any of the highlights or anything like that. So to hear it from you firsthand, I mean, that's just insane. And